Hello everyone, welcome to the Social Club. We're back. Yes, indeed. Steve Howson and Statman Dave join me. The Premier League season's done, so we're going to hand out the Social Club end of season awards. We're going to get through the standard stuff that everyone does, and then we're going to get to a few that you've suggested and a few that we've just thrown out there for shits and giggles as well. We're going to kick it off. Manager of the year. It's obviously Pep Guardiola.
I think so, yeah.
Get out. You get out and all. Is it balls, Pep Guardiola?
Why is it not Pep Guardiola? 100 points. The best. That is the best Premier League side of all time.
Give me 5 years, 1 billion, I'll get draws than 100 points in the Premier League.
It's that easy, just spend the money. So spending money guarantees success, is that what we're saying?
It does not.
Okay, interesting.
They had a huge...
Interesting. What's your caveat to that then?
Shut up.
He's a really good manager as well.
How about someone who's took someone further? This is a guy that took a team that had been previously champions and then made them champions again. He was able to sign a severe amount of players, like 19 players they've signed. Obviously, we'd all like to be able in a position to do that. Yeah. And I think a lot of us probably do need that.
I think most clubs would like to be in a similar situation to Man City and Man United. That's correct, James.
You can't say and Man United as well. We're still dealing with a 2011 defence.
Yeah, but
which includes two what used to be wingers.
You've got the best goalkeeper in the world, and you've spent how much money on two centre halves in that time?
A few pound,
not
£10.
Oh, 10 bob to buy buying Lindelof, like you know what I mean. So it's not like he's not attempted.
You get change out of buying a mint aero for what we've spent on the bloody defence at the minute.
Okay, listen.
Manchester City are actually ranked in terms of defence spending amongst countries.
So basically, Pep Guardiola's not allowed to get it, not allowed to win an award, not allowed to win this because he's spent loads of money.
No, and yeah, I am biased.
Who do you think has been
Listen,
the manager?
I am biased, and I say so.
If you put Jose Mourinho forward as manager of the year,
no, I'm obviously not going to put. No,
but the improvement from sixth to second, right? That's decent.
No, because someone's got even better improvement, and that's Sean Dyche, 16th to get in Burnley European football. Burnley, a lot of people's tips to go down. For me, Sean Dyche. They lost arguably their best player in Michael Keane. They didn't
and the goalkeeper, to be fair, for the whole season.
So everyone's like, they're screwed. Sean Dyche worked miracles. He's the manager of the year.
David Wagner, for me.
I think he's done a good job.
There is no way in hell they should have even been in the Premier League in the first place.
Yeah.
To then stay up. They've spent basically nothing by all compared to what you meant to spend in the Premier League. Huddersfield, they've got no pedigree for it at all, like you mean. It's the first time for all of them in this kind of situation. And as well to do it in the style that they've added up, you know, they've won a lot of plaudits along the way. They've got a little bit of quality, but they're also the battling quality that they showed at Stamford Bridge to basically secure it.
Coming up from the Championship, playing that style and sticking to that manner, not changing his philosophy, not changing how he wants to play football, which is...
It's brave from a board.
It's brave, but it's kind of what you need to do if you want to become a good Premier League side, you need to stick to what you do. Stoke used to play long ball football, they used to chuck the ball into the box from throw-ins, and they were successful doing that.
I miss Rory Delap. The world game misses Rory Delap. It's just the ball gets bombed and mortar shells into the box. Like, yeah. Is it worth a mention for Rafa Benitez?
I think so, but then the mid-season form was awful. Like, they started well, then they dropped off massively. Shelvey was awful. Mitrovic went on loan. The team was really bad. And then they've hit a little bit of form, and at the end of it, obviously, they've stayed up.
Funny enough, I was watching my pre-season predictions, and I said, look, if Rafa gets money, then he'll make them a competitive force. He hasn't, and he's still managed to get
I think
out of them.
big thing, inconsistencies compared to Pep Guardiola's side that have been the most consistent team we've ever seen in the Premier League. Broken records, and I think you've got to look at the player development as well. Raheem Sterling, Leroy Sane, a lot of young players that he's done well with this season.
Of course, both of them for like 50, or they were both signed for like 50 million.
He spent money.
So you can't tell me that they weren't good players. That's what I'm saying. People go, he's developed this. No, they was top players.
Yeah, but then he's taken them to the next level.
Arguable. They might have been on that trajectory anyway.
Shut up. Yeah, okay. Vote for who you think was the manager by clicking the eye in the corner of the screen. Player of the year. Is this really worth a debate? Can anyone look beyond Mohamed Salah for this? No, you can get out.
Well, he kept the best player in the Premier League in his back pocket. Won tackles, interceptions, clear everything.
Yeah.
United won 2-1. United go on to get second place in the Premier League, right?
I remember when in the 90s when Liverpool couldn't beat Everton in the Merseyside derby, and my mates were all Blues, and they always used to say, "We're a better team than you because we beat you in those games." That's not how it works.
So we're better than City. We're better than you.
Better than Chelsea.
West Brom are better than us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, Kevin De Bruyne has been great. I think Harry Kane to score 30 goals in a season. Any other season, Harry Kane walks away with the golden boot.
I like it.
I think you've got to look outside as well, not just the goals. You look at Liverpool, Salah's got the most goals, most assists, most chances created, completed the most dribbles and had the most shots. You know, pushing Liverpool to the Champions League final and so forth. So you can't look past him at all.
43 goals and 14 assists.
But still, if it was like wrestling, Ashley Young gets it because he's the only guy that's possible.
Sure, I'll tell you what, vote. Who do you think is the player there? Is it Mohamed Salah or is it Ashley Young?
Why, I'm sitting here siding with a bleeding
do.
Scouser against the United fan.
You know what to do.
Jesus.
It's like wrestling.
Young player of the year. I'm gonna throw in Leroy Sané. I've been massively impressed. I think he's gonna fit into that mould of like a Cristiano Ronaldo, a Ronaldinho style. He's big, he's athletic, he's skillful. 14 and goals and 19 assists in all competitions this season.
Jesus, I think was very good. I was very impressed.
Gabriel
only got 13 goals.
I like the young player of the year to be like a rookie, an emerging talent, not just based on the age. Because Wayne Rooney would have been 7 years into his career and still eligible for this, which is wrong.
Yeah,
but then that was because Wayne Rooney started so young.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I agree. I think I like the under-21 shout, if I'm honest, or even the teenage shout to some extent.
Well, that's Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Trent Alexander-Arnold's a decent shout.
And I think Sessegnon was unfortunate not to have been the one that won the PFA one as well. I think he's had an unbelievable season. I'm very excited to see where he goes.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's no way voting then. We're going to move it on. Don't forget to send the anagram answers in the comments below. We're going to do our alternative awards now because, look, it's boring, isn't it? Just doing the same old shite that everyone else does. So we've got, first and foremost, the Dave Bassett Manager of the Season Award, which is given to the worst manager in the Premier League this season, as delivered by the panel here. Is it possible to pick anyone other than Alan Pardew?
So I looked at it, and there's a player, the manager that I forgot was there, actually managed in the Premier League this season and did worse than Pardew.
Frank de Boer.
Frank de Boer, only manager in Premier League history to be a manager and for his team not to score a single goal. I think it's 76 days or something he's in charge, which is too short for someone like a de Boer. His style, you got to give time.
I mean,
but at the same
we
time,
could make him worst manager of the month. Maybe not of the season, no.
But he's not scored a goal. His team's not scored a goal. That's a fact that sticks.
Well, I want to give it to Pardew just because. Fuck Alan Pardew.
Shout for Matt Hughes. He might have took 2 teams down. He was very close to it.
But he never.
But
and I think he should have actually been in for a shout of Manager of the Year because what a tactical move that is. Get booted from Stoke, jump ship, literally. It's like 2 teams going off a waterfall, and he's jumped on and clung onto a branch and kept himself in there, maintained his reputation for 1 more season. And Southampton love him as well, to be fair. So it's between Pardew and Frank de Boer. Vote. Please do. And comment below if we've missed anyone you think in the comments below on that one. Okay, the Angel Di Maria Grand Flop Award for the biggest failed transfer of the season.
There's a few names. Chelsea, pretty much every single player they've bought have kind of not lived up to what they should have been.
This is the problem when you take the champions down out of the top 4.
Well, I think you lose players. You lose big players like, Diego Costa, and you sign Morata, who's an inexperienced player. You take Aubameyang, joined in February, scored 1 fewer goal than Morata in the Premier League. I feel a bit sorry for him because I think people are hammering him too much. I still think he's a good player, Morata, but he hasn't lived up to that £75 million hype.
I think it would be unfair to put him ahead of Timu Bakayoko.
Yeah, but again, like another talented player.
Bakayoko's been Kakayoko
though. I mean, surely there's Chelsea fans watching who are just be just nodding along.
What about Wayne Rooney?
Wayne Rooney. You Scouse bastard.
It's the Irish accent all about. We saw this coming as United fans. We'd seen the end of him for a long time. The fact that he's now going MLS on the back of what could have been he coming up with a retiring here and this, that and the other. Now he's off to America. That's a failed season.
Yeah, I think it's a decent shout, but you had a better shout before we started filming. Man United signing.
Zlatan. We re-signed Zlatan. And actually, in a more holistic sense, it might have been a bad decision, not just because of how the player performed, but what the impact that player had of coming back. I think Lukaku's wobble happened around the same time that Zlatan was signed, and if that shook his confidence for those couple of weeks, we wouldn't have won the league regardless. But we might have been a bit further ahead than we are. We might have perhaps maybe progressed in the Champions League a bit more.
Any more shouts?
Renato Sanchez. Ooh, I feel sorry for the lad again, like young player, Swansea, not really given the time, but
you saw
really
the Swansea Southampton game, and he sat there on the bench, and he should be their best player.
It's mad. It's honestly mad. In the Champions League, he was the best player for Benfica, and they got to the quarters. He was quality.
Okay, then I think some really interesting stuff. And again, there'll be loads of great suggestions there. We've swerved the Joe Hart talk. I think we've lambasted Joe Hart enough in recent weeks on this show, but he is one of them. Let us know any alternatives in the comments below and vote in the corner. Right, the Richard Keys First Inaugural Worst Prediction Award, which is going to the panel here, and it's a call that you made in pre-season that you got horrendously wrong.
I got everything right, I think.
Did you?
Apart from Burnley. I got Burnley to be relegated. Unfortunately, came seventh.
On the march into Europe, Burnley.
In my defence, right, Burnley have won a lot of games by a single goal. So they've won like 1-0, 2-1. It's a swing.
It's a
so
legitimate way of winning.
I think I think you win the game if you do that. I had a look because I didn't know. I assumed I would have been on the full-time Devils prediction, and if I was, I probably would have said we win the league. Okay. Now, second, it's not the worst, but obviously City have absolutely trounced it, haven't they? The other thing I said is I thought Everton was going to be very good with the signings that they made. I thought, especially Sigurdsson. I think I may have said Arsenal will finish outside the top 10 with Europa League. And I think I also said Spurs may have peaked, which still the jury's out on.
Okay, so I listened through my predictions video and I had Gabriel Jesus as top goal scorer ahead of Harry Kane, which is, you know, he could have been if he'd been fit all season, maybe slightly better.
Goals, maybe.
If he'd scored 3 times as many goals
that
as he
might have
actually
done it.
scored.
That might have done it.
I had Spurs to finish 6th. Which looks a touch foolish now. I thought Wembley was going to be a massive millstone round their necks.
Started that way.
It was.
And it did, but it was nowhere near as bad as it ended up being for them. So yeah, and they've obviously finished above Liverpool as well. So yeah, they didn't finish 6th. I don't know why I didn't have Arsenal, to be honest. Right, okay. At Dyer Thomas tweeted in, most overhyped, overrated French midfielder for Man United this season.
It's not Paul Pogba.
Nemanja
I don't
Matic.
know you can be on about with that. Paul Pogba. Where's this narrative going to actually get the truth out of it? That Paul Pogba is not a terrible footballer.
He's not as good as he should be.
All right, 10 assists, 5 goals from
6
a guy
goals.
that's been shunted around all over the place in midfield.
Are you happy with Paul Pogba's performance this season?
No, but he's hardly the worst, most overrated
said that.
anything. No.
No, he said...
Dyer Thomas says most overhyped.
Well, he's just asking who's the most overhyped, overrated French midfielder for Man United. He's not saying
We have
that.
one French midfielder.
I did try.
Well, that's just by the by.
I did try and go through the team and be like, is there any other French players at Man United? And the only one was Anthony Martial. I think people would start losing their mind if I said that.
Sad, okay. Isaiah Bright 4 says, what was the most overhyped game of the season? For me, it has to be Liverpool United game that ended 0-0. 2 years on the bounce. They tried that.
They always have.
Red Monday.
They always have. They always overhype them games, regardless, because it's historically the biggest game in English football. So they're generally going to be a disappointment. But what would be exciting for someone? What do people want? Do they want 4-3s? Do they want 3-2s? What do they want? We got a result at Anfield, which then was the catalyst for an absolute dog shit couple of months for us. And then we beat you at Old Trafford. Ultimately, that's job done from a United point of view.
Okay, I'm not sure that's
from a neutral's point of view. Yeah, you're probably bored.
Just thought for an overhyped game, I didn't need you to fucking drag up the past.
I thought that Chelsea-Liverpool game that they tried to hype as like the Champions League decider. That was like took what last week?
Last week,
yeah.
And we finished 5 points ahead of
Yeah,
Chelsea.
sure.
Even though
It's
it was
probably
rotten
some
game
of like
as well.
West Brom versus Stoke and Super Sunday lads
West
are getting in,
Brom versus
and they're going
Stoke.
like, "Are we going to
Thomas
overhype
versus
this?
Pardew.
Are we even going to hype this, let alone overhype
Rory
it?"
Delap returns.
I'd be all over that.
I'd watch that.
Amazing. Right, brilliant. And the Social Media King Award, which footballer has absolutely donned social media this season?
I think Batshuayi's had a good go at it.
Batshuayi's, I think he's been building towards this award for a few
he has.
years.
He's been aiming for
from
it.
him basically playing Pro Evo and FIFA off one another for the better rating last season. I thought that was really good. To him basically just trolling everyone, trolling Chelsea for like, look how amazing I am at football when you play me in games of football. I
think that was good as well, like, trying to get the issue of racism.
On a much more serious note, yes, that as well.
You've got to give him the credit as well. He's got the
quickly.
banter, but he's also got the seriousness, which I do like, and obviously that was an issue that needs to be addressed.
I think Mendy at City has been a bit of a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that. Obviously.
There's something to a man with a ruptured cruciate ligament running down the touchline doing Snapchats is something that's got an appealing quality.
Just the fact
to
that
it.
you know that he's injured and he's sitting at home and he's just like, let's have it, like, and going for it. I got respect for that.
A late entry
Yeah.
into this, James Milner.
No.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Nah, he's
actually,
taken
yeah.
his whole brand from a parody account. I'm not agreeing with that at
Exactly.
all.
Yeah,
I don't
that's the
care.
best. He's killed the parody
Get your
account.
own brand up.
The parody account can't outboring him.
I think the genuine genius of taking that James Milner and just going, do you fancy just being that on social media? And he's gone, yeah, go ahead, that'll be a laugh. And, you know, talking about going out for having a Ribena after the semi-final of the Champions League.
Was it one where like I'm sitting at home ironing my shirts or something like that?
Yeah, and measuring did he measure his mini eggs or something at Easter and all this kind of stuff like? Yeah,
no, yeah, I got time for that. James Milner's a hell of a shout.
Let us know some suggestions then for the Social Media King in the comments below. There we go, that is it. The 2017-18 domestic season is done anyway. We have got an amazing show lined up later this week. Ask the Colours back. We're going to be picking our team of the season. We're going to be answering, yes, how many managerial sackings and resignations will be. We're going to talk about Conte. We're going to talk about the managerial merry-go-round in the summer. So tune in for that later on in the week. Subscribe to the Ball Street channel. Drop a like. See you there.